Good afternoon, guys. It's Working, bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at Bitcoin to the US dollar 4-hour chart on Coinbase, and things are getting interesting, guys. Bitcoin just had this latest move here, which was no surprise at all. I apologize for the lack of updates, guys. My life has been insanely busy trying to move move my life across country, and yeah, it's just been nuts. Hopefully, things will slow down at the end of January. But anyway, guys, this larger move here was pretty easy to spot if you guys were watching the chart very closely. As you know, if you've listened to my analysis for any amount of time, this is the most obvious spot when you see price getting squeezed like this with a series of lower highs, higher lows, reaching the apex. Anytime you see that, generally speaking, you can expect a larger move to come. And of course, we just saw that hike from Bitcoin jumped from about 3820 on Coinbase all the way up to a high of about 4100 before retracing a little bit and sitting at about 4055 at this point in time. So the question is, it came up perfectly into our known zone that I've been pointing out for quite a long time, guys, between about 4120 and 4000. This is a very relevant zone. We zoom back out on the daily chart, and again, I know I've shown you guys this before, but for those of you that have not seen my analysis, or for those of you that may not remember, if we go swing high, swing low of our larger structure here, what do we see? We can see that this is jiving perfectly with that golden pocket. That golden pocket sits between the 618 fib and the 65 fib level. That little golden pocket right there, guys, we can see that the body of this is hit a couple times here on the daily chart we're looking at here. So 1, 2, we've wicked through it, but always got pushed right back down. We have yet to see a body close above that zone. And of course, price came up, hit perfectly right there inside that golden pocket, retraced a little bit, and still we have yet to be able to penetrate this with any decisive move at all. Again, we've done it by a wick, but we haven't had a decisive break above, and that's really what we're looking for, a daily candle both opening and closing above this zone. Certainly above our 4120 resistance point at this time, but really what's causing, obviously we had a lot of structure built in the market right around that area before, but that 618 fib level, between that 618 and that 65 fib level, guys, that's causing just a lot of resistance, and we really need to see a decisive break above that zone if the bulls are going to carry this thing on a bull run, on the type of bull run that we're all hoping for. Unfortunately, guys, though, if we come over here and we look at overall volume, and I preach this, I know I preach this every time we talk, guys, volume is king. We have to see new buyers enter this market, and we're just not seeing it right now. We're sitting at about 5.4 billion. That is an uptick over the last couple days. We were at 4.5, 4.8, 4.1, and 4.5, or excuse me, 4.5, 4.8, 5.1, and 5.4 on the day. So volume is slowly ticking up, but really what we need to see is we need to see consistent daily volume above 10 billion to know that new money is entering the market. And right now we're just not seeing anywhere close to that kind of volume, guys, which makes me think this might be a short-lived. Now, it doesn't mean this can't spark a bull run, and certainly we're going to be keeping an eye out for that. But as of right now, guys, we're not seeing the kind of volume that would justify calling this a sustainable move at all at this point. So I want to see a decisive break above, as I said, that golden pocket. I want to see a massive increase in volume. These are the things that I'm going to be looking for to call a bottom, to be comfortable saying a bottom is in, and Bitcoin has in fact turned a corner, and we are now heading up. As of right now, guys, I have my suspicions that this may be a short-lived move, and we may be coming back down to retest that $3,000 area. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it certainly is a possibility as of now. All right, zooming in on the 4-hour chart, guys, get a little more micro level view rather than macro. Looking at this, guys, we can see that, as I told you before, we are seeing some structure in the market, which is a good sign. If I go of this smaller structure here, if I go swing low, swing high, we can see we had a perfect hit right off the 618, and we've been kind of stagnated after that bounce, stagnating since then. Of course, we had that nice little move here, but still, we had that perfect hit right off that 618. We have not penetrated below that yet. So again, we are seeing some structure in the market. And if I go swing low or swing high, swing low of this little microstructure here, what do I see? we can see that we literally almost to the dollar had a perfect hit right off the 786 fib, which again, you would expect there to be some resistance right there. So we are seeing some structure in the market, guys. We just need to see that we need to take out this 4120 zone decisively. At this nice decisive break above, we need to take out this prior high right here, which is sitting at about 42.32. And if we can get into this zone here, this is the zone here where you're going to have to make a decision. And it's going to all come down to volume, in my opinion. I should say this is obviously, everybody's going to have their own opinion. But in my opinion, if we come into this zone here and start consolidating without any kind of a major bounce, but volume is low and longs remain stacked, at that point, I'm going to enter a short right in here. This is where I'm planning to short, right in here between 4,400 and 43.15. Again, if this comes into this zone, and if longs are stacked, longs versus shorts, longs are outweighing shorts by a significant number, and we have low volume. If that does happen, I will absolutely short it right in here, guys, and have no problem doing it. On the other hand, if we decisively break up into this zone, guys, and we have a lot of volume backing it up, and we have some shorts starting to stack as well, and we don't have longs outpacing shorts to a significant degree, I will absolutely start considering the bottom may be in, and I will probably add a little bit to my position. To my long position right into this point. So it's really going to be, you really have to look at all things, guys. It's not just a matter of is price going up, is price going down, but what are the other factors? Speaking of longs and shorts, let's come over and look at them. Looking at longs, guys, longs have been stacking since December the 27th. So longs have been stacking here for quite some time now. Now, with this latest move, we had some people taking profit. That's a good, healthy sign that we had people taking profit off of their long positions here. It's a very, very healthy sign. I like to see that. I don't like to see when price goes up, longs just stack. That's just guppies in the market. That's just, those people usually get liquidated all the time. That's what caused a $20,000 Bitcoin, and then market makers were just making money the entire time after that, as we had every little guppy rally as we went up to 20,000 down to 6,000, up to 11,000 down to 6,000, up to 10,000 down to 6,000. All those times the market makers were just completely manipulating the market, and guppies fell for it every time. This I like to see. I like to see people taking profit when price goes up on their longs. That's a good sign. Looking at shorts. Shorts are falling off the board here just dramatically. I mean, look at this. Just in the last, in fact, let's see here. Just since the 5th, what is today? The 6th. So just since yesterday, we've had shorts drop. Let me get right on there. 21%. 21% just since yesterday, we've had shorts drop. With price going up, that tells me, obviously those are that's market makers liquidating those short positions, hitting their stop losses, they're falling off the board. But that also tells me that now we have a scenario where shorts are dropping off the board and longs are stacked. Okay, and what do I always tell you guys? Market makers are looking to make money. They liquidate positions to do this. They liquidate longs, they liquidate shorts. Right now, they have a lot of incentive to bring price right back down to liquidate all those long positions. Now, I'm not saying they're going to. In fact, this may just be a bull trap, and they may bring price all the way up to here, trapping people into their long positions, hoping that people add to their long positions up in here. This is why I told you guys, if longs are stacked up in here and volume is very, very low, that means it's ripe for manipulation, and you can bet it may not be here, it may be somewhere up in here, but somewhere in this area they're going to turn price right back around, and it's going to drop if the volume is low. But if the volume is high, they can't do it as easy, and it's not as ripe for manipulation. So you really have to keep an eye on that volume, guys. We've had no major market moving news at all at this point. Nothing to cause any significant rise. Volume is very low, and longs are stacked. So if you're a market maker and you can just drive price in any direction, what are you going to do? You're going to bait people into as many longs as you can, and then you're just going to drop price and liquidate all those long positions and just take their money. So again, guys, this is I don't want you to be a guppy, and I don't think there's a lot of people in the market right now are not guppies. There are a lot of people that have been burned in the past, and they're slowly getting back into it, or they're professional traders or whatnot. So it's not as easy as it was last year, but again, this is just as I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when you see at this point I am. Longs are stacked, volume is low, shorts are dropping off the board. That is all a recipe for price dropping down and market makers bringing price down to liquidate these longs. So be very, very, very careful. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying keep an eye on volume and keep an eye on these longs versus shorts, guys. All right, back in the 4-hour, looking at some of our indicators. Pardon me. If we can look at point to point, obviously price created a higher high. If we come over here to the MACD, what do we have? Same exact point. Price created a lower high. That is some very not to a significant degree, but that is definitely bearish divergence, guys. Does suggest we may see a small little decrease in price. Now we're not seeing that on the RSI. So again, I'm not. That's just take that with a grain of salt. That's just one little kind of piece of information that wouldn't surprise me if we get a little bit of a decrease in or a little bit of a drop off in price here, but nothing too significant as of yet. At least not based on just that information. That being said, we're looking at the 4-hour RSI. 4-hour RSI sitting at about 75. Definitely oversold. Definitely could indicate price retracing again. We'll have to wait and see. If this RSI kind of decides to stay in this zone, comes back into the back into this zone here between and stays above 60, and we just start consolidating above 60, in my opinion, that'd be a very bullish sign. Coming over here and looking at the daily sitting at somewhere around 55-ish. Nothing too significant, at least not on the RSI. Looking at the MACD is starting to trend back up in the right direction. Nothing too significant though at all, guys. It's just too early to tell whether or not this move has any legs to it at all. As I said, guys, one of the things we're keeping an eye on is that volume. The other thing that we're looking at is, let me bring it over here. There we go. The other thing that we're looking at is our moving averages and exponential moving averages, as well as our Bollinger Bands. We can see that we're just hitting the top of our Bollinger Bands here. We can see the Bollinger Bands. We're getting squeezed here. This is on the daily chart. We're getting squeezed here, which is anytime you see Bollinger Bands getting squeezed like this, you can expect a larger move. We get that. We got that move here. We saw that it's hitting the Bollinger Bands here. We did not have a major reaction, at least not yet, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Would indicate, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a very small pullback. And if we do have that pullback, what am I going to be watching? Let me go back to the 4-hour. If we do have that pullback, guys, what am I going to be watching? I'm going to be watching this area right in here, right there. Okay, this is the area that we took off right through. This was a very, very small supply zone, very small resistance area. And what I want to see is I want to see if we come back for the retest, and if it does come back down here, I don't want to see it go any lower on Coinbase than 38.75. That I want to see what was resistance start acting as support. If that does, that'll be an extremely bullish sign in my opinion. Now, that number is going to vary across different exchanges. That's the number on Coinbase, maybe a little bit higher on Bitfinex. So you want to reference whatever exchange you're trading on, but you want to look at this pattern. Wherever this pattern lies, or wherever this area is, whatever price point this is on top of this pattern right here, that's the area that you want to start acting as support. Was resistance, you want to start acting as support if it does come back down this low. This is the low as I want to go. If it comes back below this, guys, that's going to be obviously a rather bearish sign, and at that point, this may just be a complete bull trap. Looking back on the daily chart here, we can see that price came up above this 50-day moving average. Again, that's a rather bullish sign. I want to see this daily candle closing above this 50-day moving average, certainly above the 21-day EMA at least, but above the 50-day moving average would be a rather bullish sign. And then I want to see a daily candle open and close above that. So in other words, not just today's candle closing above, that is a bullish sign, but really what we need to see is a momentum shift. And a momentum shift is defined by, on the daily, anytime we get a break up above the 21-day EMA, and we get a daily candle both open and closed, not just closed, not just open, but open and closed. We need tomorrow's candle to open and close at least above this yellow line, the 21-day EMA, but definitely if we can do it above this 50-day moving average, which basically they're coinciding right now, so they're basically one and the same. Again, that'd be a rather bullish sign, guys. So let's just watch and wait and see if that does happen. As far as entering any positions, at this point, guys, I'm not entering any positions. As I told you, I'm going to watch and wait and see if we can get into this area here. Then I'll decide if I want to add to my long or if I want to go short possibly in this area. If we do get a retest, if we get price coming back down, hitting that 38.75 area, what was support, or excuse me, what was resistance, should start acting as support. I may enter a very small trade right into that area, expecting a nice little bounce off of that. And I would only be targeting a very small, quick scalp trade, I'd only be targeting buying at about 37 or 38.75, targeting about 4,000. Just a very, very quick scalp trade, guys. Very conservative play. I'm not entering any major position at all until I get some kind of clarification as far as what's going on right now. With volume so low, market makers could literally push this thing in either direction. As I said before, what we're going to be watching is this bottom area here. If we do break below 3,600, in my opinion, that's going to be below that 618 fib level that I pointed out before. But also we can just see that that's a very relevant area on a very relevant support. So if we do break below 3,600, guys, I think things could get very bearish very quickly. I think it'd be a very quick drop if we get that decisive break below 3,600 to be a very quick drop to 3,400 to 3,250, somewhere in this area here. So that's kind of the range that I'm watching, guys. And go ahead and wrap things there. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, would appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Until next time, guys, please trade safe. Take care of yourselves. Happy New Year. This is Working, signing out.